New format alert!
Welcome to Climate Quickies, bite-sized nuggets of climate goodies from our TED experts in under 5 minutes.
First up is Angela Francis, who you will have heard on the podcast before and is our favourite environmental economist here at TEDxLondon. This time, we wanted to surface a snippet you haven't heard before. She's breaking down what a counterfactual is, why this idea is useful to you, and how it's going to help you win all of those pesky pub arguments on why a green economy will make us all better off.
I have loads of those arguments then.
Same, so many. Enjoy, and of course, stay curious.
Okay, so I've got a couple of economic lessons I did for you that you might like, but let me just give you a context of why this is an important moment, is that this moment we're in now, after the pandemic, it's quite hard to feel how big it is, but this is as big as a moment as after World War II, where we reinvented the whole healthcare system and education. This is absolutely massive, and it's one of those kind of like moments where, you know, tectonic plates shift and you do things differently, and everybody goes, we aren't going to put up with what we put up with before. And it can feel a little bit distant, but I think at the start of the pandemic, everybody's like, we're not going to come out of this and have key workers in the kind of, you know, in state there, or have that feeling that if we want to protect everybody, but some people are homeless, you know, those kind of things happened, and people kind of get to the point where they just won't accept it anymore. So in 1944, Beveridge, have you ever heard of the Beveridge report? It essentially created the health system and pensions. He said, a revolutionary moment in the world's history is a time for revolutions, not for patching. And I think that spirit is really prevalent, and you can see Biden talking about it. You can see happening in Europe in the Green New Deal, and that's a kind of moment. And I'm really concerned in when things get scary, you can have these big optimistic moments, or you can have the kind of turn in on yourself moments where you protect yourself and you do the America first anti-migration thing. And I'm really concerned that the environment is the thing that makes us open out and go, let's solve a global problem together, we can do this. And it becomes that optimistic moment. And the two things that I think are kind of relate to your question, Maryam, about what we can do is, one, this is a kind of economic term, and I'll give you this for a good pub chat, is a concept called counterfactual. So this is an economic, have you ever heard me say this before, but it's, if you're looking at the costs and benefits of doing something, you don't compare it to what's happening now, you compare it to what would happen if you didn't act, and that's that alternative future, is the counterfactual. So when anybody says to you, it's too expensive to make all the changes we need for the climate, you know, these people are crazy, that, you know, it's all going to cost too much, ask them, well, what's your counterfactual? Because the counterfactual is, you let climate change happen, you suffer all of the consequences of sea level rise, biggest cities in the world, farming will be into major crisis, we won't be able to produce food. It's so expensive, that is awful. Everything you do in the other direction is much, much cheaper. We've already worked that out. So you can say that as your kind of winning argument in any pub conversation. And then the next one is around markets. I think understanding markets as something that's designed by policy. Markets are not a sacred thing that come down from heaven and can never be changed. Markets don't tell us what kind of economy we get. We design the markets we want for the kind of lives we want to live. And we can change the rules, we can change the incentives, and we can get better outcomes from designing markets differently. And so people saying that, oh, that's not commercial, that won't work. So, well, redesign the market and it will work. If it's a better outcome for me, then we can redesign the market to give us that. So we've already made the economics add up, but we still now need to, I think, bring people with us, and they have to trust us on this journey. And trust us that not only do they get to a better place, but the journey to it will be good. Which is, I think, that point about the just transition that we've discussed before. Like, how do you go from where we are now, living in hell, to the heaven that I'm promising? That is, that's how do you get there? How's that journey going to work for people?
Thanks for listening to our first ever Quickie.
This episode was created by our usual superstar podcast team and supported by TEDxLondon's headline partner, City. Until next time,
stay curious.